Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursaleen. Khatamin nabiyyin shafi'il mudhnibeen. Rahmatan lil alameen. Maulana wa sayyidina Abil Qasim Muhammad. Allahumma salli وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرض أرواحنا له الفداء ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. Amma ba'du, respected elders, brothers, sisters, we discussed so far the realities of death. Now, our discussion from tonight for the next couple of nights is going to be regarding the world of Barzakh. Once the soul and body decouple, basically you have entered into Barzakh. So what happens in Barzakh? As we said, one of the things that will happen for most people is that they will be in a state of confusion. They were not ready for this moment. So they are not yet fully engaged and switched on to the world of Barzakh. They've just entered into Barzakh, so it'll take some time. So what is the thing that they are most familiar with, right? Because they've now entered into a new world. So what is the thing that they are familiar with? They are familiar with the body. Because this body has been their existence for all these years. And now they're in a new world, they're confused. So the thing that they are most familiar with still is the body. The body, however, will seem lifeless because obviously it is lifeless now. This will be both scary and fascinating. They will be scared on one hand and they will be fascinated on the other hand. And then now they're in a new body, the Barzakhi body. The Barzakhi body is much lighter and more sensitive because now you're in a much more advanced world. Barzakh compared to this world is a much more advanced world. Yeah? This world is very limited. If you look at it, we don't think of it like this, but if you analyze properly, here we're bound by so many things. We're bound by time, we're bound by space, we're bound by gravity, we're bound by all these three-dimensional objects around us. In Barzakh, it's not like that. So they are much more free and it opens a whole new world to them. The new body can see, can feel and everything. Now, it still retains an affinity and a connection with the body. It doesn't know where to go. Although the angels are helping, the angels are assisting, like I said yesterday, sometimes we won't immediately appreciate what the angels are doing for us. So most of the people will be still thinking about their connection with the human body. So whenever the ghusl happens, the soul sees what's going on. Whenever the kafan is being put on the body, the soul is seeing what's going on. When the dafan happens, when the burial happens, the soul is seeing what's going on. This is why we have a teaching that when you do ghusl and these things to a dead body, to a mayyat, to a janazah, you take it easy, go soft, be gentle. Why? You may say, well, the body is now lifeless, so why do we have to be gentle? You have to be gentle because it is traumatic for the soul to see the body being mishandled. It is traumatic for the soul. So the soul feels this kind of shock and sort of pain. Not that physical pain of the nerves in our skin, which are giving us physical pain of the body. It's you could say maybe a psychological pain, a pain of like, what are you doing to me? What's going on? Why do you treat me so roughly? So let's move on now. If you grasp that concept, we move on to the burial itself. The burial is going to be one of the most difficult things for the soul to witness. The soul is basically following along with the body. It cannot yet fathom that it's a different entity now. It still identifies itself with the body. So it's following along. Hence, during burial time, we have the 3 manzils, right? We put the body down, put it down, and then over to the grave. These 3 manzils are for what? They are to give that kind of sort of slight peace and not being rushed towards the grave all in one. The soul is panicking, the soul is anxious. So you give it that respite, that look, be prepared, you are going towards this thing called the grave. So the grave is there. The soul also feels it should go in that direction because it can't yet totally remove itself from the idea of the body. So when it sees that grave, it will feel fear and dread. It still feels it's one with the body, so it goes along. And then when the burial happens, the soul will feel it's being buried alive. Physically, the body is dead, but the soul now feels it's being buried alive. Hence, people always ask, and they've been asking me over the last few days as well, that Maulana, if the soul is gone and the decoupling has happened, then what is this fishar-e-qabr and what is this squeezing of the grave? No. The grave physically does not come in, the three dimensions of the grave, the physical grave, the mud and the soil, doesn't cave in as such. It is the soul which feels and perceives this kind of thing. So now the soul feels it's being buried alive. It will feel a sense of choking, a sense of crushing, an experience of squeezing this fishar of the qabr. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. There is no believer who will not experience the squeezing of the grave. Most will feel this squeezing of the grave. The squeezing itself, or the fishar-e-qabr itself, is a mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? For mu'mineen, that squeezing and that fishar is another round of purification from the pollution we have brought. That itself will awaken us. It will awaken us. It will force us to realize this reality that where are you and what are you doing? It will force us to understand that we are not now material anymore. We have gone into another world. However, for those who are completely corrupt, like the third group that we discussed yesterday, the squeezing and fishar of the grave is nothing more than just chastisement and pain and dread. It's just excruciating suffering. Now, once the burial takes place, mu'mineen go away, everything is done, we all come away from the graveyard, now something happens, which is the feeling of utter loneliness. Hence we have this thing called namaz-e-wahshat, that recite namaz-e-wahshat for that first night of the grave, so that there is some comfort and some mercy being sent towards that soul. It will comfort that soul. Hence we remember them with namaz-e-wahshat. But even with namaz-e-wahshat and these things, some people will still feel this sense of loneliness, isolation. Where is everyone? What is going on? I have been left. This place is dark. This place is cold. This place is, scary. This person now, what does he ask himself? He says to himself, how long will I remain like this? How long will I remain trapped? What is going to happen next? He doesn't know. Because maybe he hadn't fathomed these ideas during his lifetime. So now he's left in a state of confusion. There are two experiences now. One group will lose all hope. They will be utterly terrified. Another group, because of their worldly lifestyle, the way they used to live here, they will say one thing: my Lord has not left me alone. Why? Because during this life they had this feeling, Khuda mane koi divas nahi muke. Your attitude towards Allah and your tawakkul and your bharoso and your vishwas on Allah in this world will transfer into that world. That will give you comfort. You will say to yourself, Amirul Mu'mineen mane koi divas nahi muke. Janab Fatema mane koi divas nahi muke. I will have my arbab, I will have my imams, I will have my ma'soomeen with me. If you had that attitude in this world, if you had the attitude that, oh well, it's me and me alone and I do everything and I don't, the reliance on Allah was not there, the reliance on Imam-e-Zamana was not there, then that feeling will not transfer with you. That feeling, will transfer with you in the hereafter. So you will feel that there's nothing now. But the mu'mineen who are tawakkul, they will say, no, Allah will not leave me like this. There is some light at the end of this. Then what happens is that, as I've been saying, we are constantly in the process of building our hereafter. Yeah, you remember these points, right? We're building our shakila, we're building our attitudes, our spiritual personality is being built in this world. So all of the things we have done, all of the good deeds, bad deeds, nauzubillah, All of them have been recorded somewhere, correct? This is what we believe. They've all been recorded. This spiritual memory exists somewhere. Not the grey matter memory of the brain. There is a spiritual memory. This now needs to be activated. This spiritual memory that you now recall everything has to be activated. How is this activated? Here we find the mention in hadith of a great angel of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called Ruman, the reminder. Ruman, angel of Allah, his job is to remind us. Ruman comes into the grave. When he enters the grave, there is now a transformation of the grave. The grave expands. Again, not physically, but from the perception of the soul. The grave expands, becomes dazzlingly light. This angel will appear who is imposing, but at the same time is very beautiful and handsome as well. Depends where your position is. Will you see him as scary and imposing? Will you see him as beautiful and handsome? This depends on your position. So some people will naturally be scared. Others will naturally be hopeful. Ruman is a splendid creature of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When he comes, then the mu'min thinks, yes, Allah has not left me. This is my Allah, still looking out for me even at this time. After everyone has gone away, after everyone has gone home and is carrying on with their own lives, Allah has not left me. Ruman now begins to speak. Ruman says, write down every deed you committed. So there will be a sort of writing. Obviously, we're not talking about pen and paper. There will be a sort of recollecting, recalling, recounting of everything we did. Ruman says, write down. Everything you did in your life, write it down. Everything you should have done, but you didn't do it. Everything you did, write it all down. Ruman now teaches this soul how to write. And all of a sudden, these memories will come forth. They'll come flooding out of this person, as if he is reliving those scenes once again. And this activates his spiritual memory. The conversation goes like this. The person will say, I cannot mention everything I did. I feel ashamed of writing some of my sinful deeds. Ruman will say, you feel shy in front of me to write them down? Did you not feel shy in front of the Lord of the worlds when you were doing it? In front of me, an angel, you feel shy to admit what you have done. When you were doing it, did you not feel shy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? This is a great, great lesson for us. There is a level of taqwa where, I know we talk about heaven and hell a lot, but there's a level of taqwa which is actually feeling shy in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to do certain things against him. So Ruman will reply like this, and he will force us that no, you must bring forth everything and write it all down. So we will be forced to focus, we will be forced to awaken. Every moment of our life will be recalled, and we will somehow write this in a record. This recorded form of our deeds is still at the moment in its barzakhi form. Okay? There will be a qiyamati form as well to come. But at the moment, everything is in barzakhi form. So this barzakhi form of our deeds, we refer to this as our book of deeds, Namaya A'mal, the book of deeds. This all forms a book. Ruman takes that book and puts it over us on our necks. That book then becomes absorbed into the chest of the person. In other words, it's now secure inside him. Okay? All of these things have now been absorbed by this person. Ruman will say, this is your book of existence. It shall remain closed inside you until the day that Allah brings forth mankind from their graves, and then this book shall be opened. Some people will be delighted, elated. They can't wait to show Allah their book of deeds because it's full of goodness. They will feel so happy that yes, I am looking forward to the day that I can show my God all my good deeds that I did. Other people will be terrified. They will say, how will I face him on that day? What am I going to do next? Now how do I get out of this situation? Ruman departs. So now still we are in the realm of the grave. Our discussion is still with the grave. Let's have a salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. If the deeds are generally good, then that time in the grave will be generally good. If the person is of a pure nature, then his grave will be transformed into a very beautiful place. We'll talk about that soon. If it's not, then the grave becomes a place of torment and pain and suffering. In this period of time, now insan sees something else. He now starts to see different things entering the grave. He will see, inshallah, he will see a very beautiful, fragrant, nurani thing entering the grave. He will say, who are you? It will reply, Ana amaluka salih. I am your good deeds. He will see another thing. It will say, I am your namaz. Another thing, I am your roza. Another thing, I am your khums, for example. Another thing, all of these good deeds will come. Then he will see something else. Then he will see, okay, all of these things are here. And then another thing will enter, which is greater, more illuminated, more fragrant than all of them. He will say, now who are you? He will say, I am the love and wilayat of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. I am the love of Ahlul-bayt. We are the greatest of all of these forms. If you want to know why, inshallah, another time in another lecture we can explore this dimension of wilayat properly, yeah? So, if he's done evil deeds, then of course evil things will come in. And they will torment him. And then the questioning begins. The questioning, this is very interesting. So how many groups did we have of Barzakh? We said there were 3 groups, correct. One is the extremely pure, one is the extremely evil, and one is the middle group, which are a mixture of evil and good. Those who are pure, they have a very quick questioning and they are eventually led into Barzakhi heaven. Those who were completely corrupt, they have a very difficult questioning, they are led into Barzakhi hell. Someone may ask, but even the most evil of the evil will have done something good in his life, correct? Even the evil of the evil people must have done something good. So is that lost? See, it's not lost. But the evil is so much that it drowns out that small amount of good. It's not enough. It's not enough to determine that person to be in the first group, which is the ultimately good people. Now, those who are impure and pure, theirs is the most interesting situation. They will remain in a state of limbo. They will feel some dread. They will feel some goodness as well. So, this last group, the mixture of good and evil, which is going to be the majority of people according to our teachings, they will not be able to ascertain, or it will not become clear which side they are on. They're still in limbo. However, let's start with the corrupt ones first. Let's discuss those first. They will be visited by 2 more angels, Munkar and Nakir. Munkar and Nakir. These 2 angels come. For these impure, polluted people, Munkar and Nakir will be the most terrifying experience. They will see them as if they are grinding through the ground with teeth, voices like thunder, gaze like lightning. Why? These are angels. Because of their perception. These angels are not evil, God forbid. No angels are evil. But these people see them as bad because they are not compatible with the nature of a polluted and corrupt person. Why do they look like this to them? Let's go back to the worldly existence. These people in this life used to see goodness as evil and evil as good. They didn't understand the evil nature of evil and the good nature of good. They used to think these good things are actually evil. Hence, in the grave, they will see the good things as evil. It will appear to them like that. It's their perception. What is the job of Munkar and Nakir? Munkar and Nakir, their job is to assess and evaluate. Remember, Barzakh, what is the role of Barzakh? Primarily to sort people into their categories. Part of the administration of God after this world happens and starts in Barzakh. You get sorted into your categories. So their job is to assess and evaluate. Now in this world, Azizan, in this world, how do we sort and categorize people? Yeah, let's be honest. How do we typically sort and categorize people in this world? Because we do. Yeah, we always categorize people. We'll say, for example, he's rich. He's not so rich. He's got a successful business. He's got not such a successful business. He's got this kind of ability and skill. He doesn't have ability and skill. We sort people on these grounds. These people are so deluded, this third group is so deluded, when Munkar and Nakir start to question them, they will say, "Tane khabar chhe hamara paas atla bada paisa chhe? Do you know I'm a CEO of this company? Do you know I'm a hotshot? Do you know I'm a big personality?" They'll say, "What are you talking about? None of that matters here, sorry. That was there. You chose to live like that. Here it's not like that. Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. The best of you in the sight of Allah is the one with more taqwa." Taqwa matters here. This paisa is not going to matter here. So they will not be impressed by any of this. They will start to question, who is your God? These people never invested time in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These people never tried to understand Allah. So now what jawab will they give? They will not have a jawab. Because here they didn't invest properly, so there they will not get the fruits of the investment that they should have done here. This person will search the depth of his inner self for these answers. But they won't be forthcoming. Because he doesn't have it. He hasn't carried this baggage of godliness with him to the next life. They will try to explain. They will try to explain. They will try to tell him that, look, your Lord is like this, but they won't understand. Because they have shut that door of guidance. In this world they shut it already. Not that they'll shut it there. In this world they shut it already. Their habit was to tell people, who are you to tell me? What do these Maulanas know? What is all this Majalis? Do we really need this? Is this the religion that we have? What kind of religion is this? So there as well they'll do the same thing. That what is this? We don't understand. Munkar and Nakir will then move on to different questions. They will ask things like this. What were your priorities in the world? What was important to you? What did you prioritize? Number 2, how did you pass your days? How did you spend your time? Number 3, very important, Azizan-e Muhtaram. How did you earn your living? How did you earn your living? Was it halal? Was it haram? Was it dodgy? Was it clean? The food you ate with that earning, was it clean? That all forms a part of you. Fourthly, this earning which you did, then how did you spend it? Did you spend it properly? Did you look out for other people? Did you have enough for yourself, or did you want more and more and more and more? In Islam, wealth is a big blessing. And we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, oh Allah, make sure none of the Shias of Imam Ali alayhi salam are in need. However, the role of money and wealth is to circulate. Actually, the role of money and wealth is to circulate. To hoard and to just build for no reason, like build a bank balance for no reason, that is a question mark, yeah? That we have to be very honest here. That is a bit of a question mark. You're doing khairat, you're doing good things, alhamdulillah, very good. Then you're using it in the right way. So they will ask, how did you earn? How did you spend? How did you do your time? What was your time spent in? All of these things will be asked. This does what? What is all of this for? The deeper analysis is this. They force you to come to some realizations. In this world, have you seen those who go for help, psychological help, emotional help, whatever it may be? You know, the first thing that these people do, the ones who are there to help you, like these self-help people, the first thing they say to you is, admit your situation first. Admit there's a problem. Until you don't recognize that there's a problem, we can't work on the solution. Correct? Admit. You must come to the understanding that there is a problem. If you remain oblivious that there is a problem, then what solution will we give you? Because you're convinced that there's no problem. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to get this person to focus his attention on himself and admit that there's a problem, and to realize that, yes, really, there is a problem here. I am really in a problem. So they get him to face the unpleasant realities of himself, the uncomfortable truths of himself. This person, because we're still discussing the third group, he will try to lie, he'll try to justify, he'll try to give all the excuses, just like we do in this world. Give excuses, make things up, try to justify, try to worm our way out. It won't work there. Every time he tries to do this, they will have to take some action. So, according to hadith, he is met with a fiery response, a whip of fire that lashes across his face. Why? To force him that, look, you need to wake up, you need to focus. We have to be a bit harsh with you in order to focus your mind. In that world, lying will not yield any results. He feels a sense of suffocation. He feels a sense of intimidation. Hence, all of these different ahadith, we can make some sense of them like this, that there's pressure, there's intimidation, there's suffocation, there's claustrophobia, because he's being like hounded, and it's very uncomfortable for him. He doesn't want to face these realities. He'll feel the walls of the grave are tightening on him. If he's in this last group, then he will be submitted into the hell of Barzakh, which is going to be a tormenting time. That hell of Barzakh is the Barzakhi equivalent of the real hell. The real hell is still to come. But that Barzakhi hell is a Barzakhi version of that real hell. Then something very sad happens. He now will come to a very sad realization. He will now realize, I am more suited to punishment than I am to reward. He himself will realize. See, they've got him to a stage where now something can happen, something can be worked with here. He will now realize that actually, yes, I am more suited to the fire than the heaven. I am more suited to punishment than anything else. It's my nature that is like this. I have made myself like this. He'll turn his back on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah doesn't turn his back on anyone. They will turn their back on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They will realize that they don't qualify for His mercy. They will realize that something is not right. He will enter into the hell of Barzakh. Now, just to bring you all back into a good mood, now we're going to discuss the first group, the very, very pure individuals, inshallah, with salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. These are, of course, the pure souls. Inshallah, Allah make us one of these people. Their angels, they're not called Munkar and Nakir, they're called Bashir and Mubashir, the givers of good news. Because they really give good news. They really come as if it's like a celebration. They come happily, in a pleasant way. They give good news. They are friendly. This person now is being questioned, but he replies everything confidently. Who is your Lord? Allahu Jalla Jalaluhu Rabbi. What is your book? Quran. Who is your Mawla? Amirul Mu'mineen. Who was your Prophet? Rasulullah. Which Imam was it at the time? Imam Zaman Ajjalallahu Ta'ala Farajahu Sharif. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. What was your Qibla? What was this? What was that? And they are firing back the answers very confidently. Why? Because in this world they had those answers in their heart. In this world they were connected with Imam Zaman. In this world they had the love of Amirul Mu'mineen. In this world they had the love of Janab Fatema. In this world they had the love of Quran, ma'rifat of Quran, ma'rifat of Allah to a certain extent. And all these things now are ready to be put forward to these angels. The beautiful thing is, on one hand, we say that when you leave this world, your file is closed, correct? File band the jai. Now there's no more addition. True. However, the journey doesn't stop. If he is of this first group and he shows them these answers, they will now be able to even take him higher and higher in his level. They can actually teach him new things because he's ready. He's done all the hard work in this world. He did the hard yards and now he's reaping the benefits. So the horizons of his thought and comprehension expand. Where is he led to? Barzakhi heaven. He will feel a breeze like from the real heaven of the hereafter. He will feel the breeze of that heaven. He'll be drawn towards that. Angels will say, no, not yet. At the moment you satisfy yourself with Barzakhi heaven. That is for the hereafter. He will be wonderstruck. He'll be elated. He'll be delighted. He'll ask them, can I inform my friends? Can I tell other people? Inni amantu bi rabbikum fasma'un qila adkhulil jannah. It'll be said to him, enter into heaven. Qala ya layti qawmi ya'lamun. Can I not go and tell my community members? Can I not tell them? Can I go and tell them that look how beautiful this place is? Look at what is waiting for you if you're a good person. Bima ghafara li rabbi. The way my Lord has forgiven me. Waja'alani min al-mukramin. My Lord has placed me amongst those He respects. Allah respects us. Imagine, we are mukram. He respects us. He honors us. One question which has come from many people over the last few days is that in the Barzakhi world, will we be able to meet our family and friends? The answer is yes and no. If they are in the same group as you, then yes. If they are not in the same group as you, then no. Naturally, you will be drawn towards those people who are of your level. Naturally, you'll be drawn towards those people of your level. And those people who have gone earlier than us into Barzakh, they will now start to ask, where is this guy? Where is that guy? What happened to this one? What happened to that one? Now, if you reply that, oh yeah, this guy is still alive, they'll become happy. Because they know that Haji Nati Meiro, Haji, he's not dead yet. There's a chance that he'll come here with us in this good place. But if you say, no, he died long time ago, for example, then they can only make one conclusion, that he's not in this place, he's in the other place, God forbid. There's also meetings in hell. That is Barzakhi heaven. In hell also there's meetings. But the meetings in hell are dreadful. The meetings in hell is full of malice, evil, dread, fear. Everyone's against each other. Almost like, you see, for example, these horrible prisons in the world, these horrible jails in the world, where you never feel safe. Everyone is out to get the other person. These jails and prisons throughout the world, it'll be like that sort of thing. Everyone is kind of against each other. Everyone is kind of, plotting against each other, because that's their nature. So that will be a dreadful existence. All will be enemies of each other. Now, let's quickly, just in the last couple of minutes, we discuss the middle state one more time. Let's come back to this middle group with one more salawat, please. This middle group is not yet able to go into hell or heaven. Like their ultimate fate is not yet decided, because they're a mixture of good and evil. They are kind of in an intermediate state, proportionate to their deeds. If you have more goodness, you'll be in a better. Less goodness and more evil, you'll be in a worse situation. Imam Muhammad Baqir alayhi salam says that the relatively better ones, a passage will be created between their graves and the paradise of Barzakh. So they're not into paradise of Barzakh proper, but there'll be a passageway. Through this, they will experience comfort until the Day of Judgment. And similar for the other side as well. Relatively evil will experience dread and fear until the Day of Judgment. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for tawfiq, for His mercy, for His compassion, for His forgiveness. May He guide us always. May He keep us in the company of Aimma alayhimus salam. May Imam Zamana be happy with us. May we do something in this month to please our Imam. Oh Allah, hasten the reappearance of our 12th Imam. Keep our community strong and united at all times. O Allah, allow us to realize our dreams and ambitions, inshallah. Rabbana taqabbal minna innaka anta samiul alim. For the quick zuhur of our beloved Imam, let's have 3 loud salawats.